Aloha everyone, and welcome to another Carbon 60 video. I'm your host Kay Elmer, and in this video I just want to walk you through the updated Carbon 60 market price guide. It's something that I started 4 years ago. It's just a list to keep track of who is selling C60 and in what kind of oils and etc. And it's kind of just turned into this thing that I do every year where I just walk you through everything that's tied to C60 and what the prices are for it. For those of you who've been hanging out with me for a few years, this is the annual update. It got so big I only do it once a year now. For those of you who are new and looking to purchase C60 products, this is the list. So let me just jump right in. In terms of the list of who sells what and for what. Okay. All right. So this is the list. And just for you that haven't seen it before, I kind of broke it into, the main sellers of the C60 in olive oil. And then over here on this side is if they sell C60 in other oils, avocado, MCT, sunflower, hemp, pumpkin seed oil, or miscellaneous, and then there's the notes that accompany that. It is arranged in the lowest to highest price per tablespoon, which is the typical serving, serving / dosage is a tablespoon, which is 15 milliliters, by the way. There is no standard for sizes of bottles. So, but the most standard that I can kind of apples to apples compare things is either a 100 milliliter bottle or a 4-ounce bottle. So you'll see prices by size broken out like that. And then, of course, you've got your purities of the C60 that they say that they are using and what the saturation rates are. The industry benchmark is 0.8, and then it goes up from there. And then the idea here on this column right there is just for you market guys that are in the industry. I keep tracks of if the variance of the price has gone up or down. All right. So let's just jump in. Now, this is the C60 olive oil sellers. There's other oils as well, and I'll walk you through that so you understand how this spreadsheet works. Basically, here's the list, and it's a lot longer than 12. It is probably 3 times that big if you just consider all the products. But this year, it just got to be unmanageable. So what I tried to do, and to the best of my ability, was I weed out all of the resellers, okay? So these are a list of people who produce C60 oils, and that's what they sell on their websites. They don't sell, socks and and herbs and all this other stuff. They just sell C60 primarily. That's their thing, the C60 products. So, and so these are not resellers. These are actual manufacturers. And so here's the list of them. Again, it is arranged by price per quote serving. That's my definition of serving. It's a tablespoon. So you've got lowest to highest, and here's all the prices. And this is for olive oil. Okay, so this whole section here is for olive oil. And so right now you can at best you can get it C60 in olive oil as low as $3 a serving, all the way up to $13 a serving, which is over 4 times that, depending on who you buy it from. So one of the things that, if you're out shopping, you're new to C60, obviously most people kind of start at the lower end because they just want to try it. But I do want to point out that if you try these higher ends, it's expensive, but you might be a little surprised that there's a reason it's a little bit more expensive because they do different things in their mixing processes more than just put it on a stir for 2 weeks. So there is a reason it is a lot higher, in my opinion, after researching and reading everybody's website, which I spent the entire day doing. Okay, so here's the, basically that's it. Those are the prices, and these are the different other oils that they offer. If you see a price here, that's the oils. Now, one of the things I do try to break out the price guide in is, because I get contacted every now and then, people looking to buy C60. So that's why, I just send them this list. But, it is broken down as much as possible by different countries and mostly by their currencies. So, you've got UK merchants, you got Australian merchants, and, I'm English speaking, so I am limited to what I can read. And then there's merchants in other countries that have an English website. And I know there's Google Web Translate, but, that takes way too long. So here's the list in English. And so, yeah, so this is where you're at in England. I'm sorry, UK, and you can get C60 and olive oil as low as 524 pounds up to 9 pounds per serving. Australia is in Australian dollars, as low as 850 all the way to 1124, depending on the merchant in olive oil. And some of these, they've got different oils. And then, of course, there's merchants in other countries, kind of all over, that I've been tracking: France, Switzerland, Canada, New Zealand, Ireland, so forth, and Germany. And so those are all the different, down here is all the different sellers in those other countries. So, because that's the biggest thing, it seems to me, that people contact us on the Telegram chat group is, they're having a hard time getting anything through customs, let alone, something in a liquid in a bottle. So if you're in a specific country, look for C60 sellers in your country. Hopefully I've kind of found some of them for you as best as I can. And this is the price per olive oil, and then you can go, low to high. Now over here is just all over the place. In Hawaiian, we would call that kapakai. Anyway, it just means scattered. Okay, so then you've got, they obviously have different oils. Some of them do. And, and it's just a matter of, from an oil standpoint, I just want to point out that, olive oil is been proven to be the best oil for saturation, meaning it holds the most amount of C60 in the oil. And then there are other oils that are kind of close, like avocado is probably the closest to olive oil. The one that's farthest away is actually MCT in terms of saturation, how much C60 that oil can hold. So, it's kind of really, really important that when you're buying C60 to realize, and then this right here means for olive oil, not for any of these other oils, that, if you want to try C60, be aware that you're out to buy C60 and not buy oil. So you want to get the most amount of C60 in the product you're purchasing. That's where your dollars are going. So keep in mind, different oils do not hold as much C60 as others. All right. So olive oil that's why olive oil is the benchmark. But there's all sorts of different kinds of oils too. If you look over here on the side, you got people making C60 in black seed oil, almond and sesame, camelina. Which, by the way, is kind of interesting. For the first couple of years after 2017, there was this mad rush in the industry to produce C60 products in other oils. So one of the most interesting things that I noted this year after studying websites all day was that there's only been one of all of these guys, only one additional oil this year. Everyone's kind of sticking to what they created in late 2019 and 2020. Actually, I did this last in February 2020. So this is as of 2019, these are the oils, and it didn't really change. There's only one company that actually added a new oil that didn't exist on this price guide before, and that was this company right here that produced it in camelina oil, which I had to look up what the heck that was, and it's some kind of flaxseed oil, right? And that's just the newest oil that's been added. So it really seems like that rush about, hey, let's expand out of olive oil and try different oils. It seems like that kind of like, trend is gone. There hasn't been anyone adding new oils. And then the other thing that was real interesting is looking at the variance in pricing. There has been no change to consumer prices, which has been that's a really good sign. I mean, 2 years ago we had a shortage. It was a massive spike in price. And then the prices, I'll show you, I'll do an industry walkthrough here in a second on pricing. But, there's been no relative increase in price over the last year, which is amazing. It's just zero. They're flatline. They're the same price they were, a year ago. And a couple in the red have gone down. And there's only one product on my entire list that actually went up in price. And that's these guys here. So congratulations to you. Okay, but that's pretty much it. So we're seeing a stabilization in consumer prices. We're seeing a stabilization in the types of oils. So that's what we're going. That's where we're going from here. But if you're new to C60, this is the list. Just click. You can check any of these vendors out. Here's their prices. You want to start out cheap. You want to try the expensive ones. Go from, that's how you do it. But for you guys that have been in the industry for a while, there you go. That's how you read this thing. Now, let's talk about the specialty stuff. Now, if there are vendors that are not selling oil, olive oil, C60 olive oil, or they're selling C60 oil in different types of methods like capsules and so this is where I kind of cover the specialty. And 3 years ago there wasn't even a specialty section. It was like one vendor selling pet, but now I think that in 2020, which is I'm reviewing 2020 now, it seems like in the year 2020 one of my predictions was that there'd be basically an increase in the number of folks selling topicals, and that did happen. But what I didn't predict, which was interesting to notice now, is that there's been a real big increase in the number of pet products out there or marketing for pets. So here's the list right now, and it's almost doubled in terms of the number. And it's a small number of vendors, but double is still double. So back in the original days, 4 years ago, Live Pet was the only vendor out there making a C60 products for pets, and it's a specific pet product with specific proprietary blend of oil. It's not just like, let's take our olive oil, rebrand it as as pet product, and it's the same oil but it's a different label. And there are a couple of these guys that are doing that. It's their same product for humans with a different oil. So there's no difference. It's not specific to pets. It's just a different label on the bottle. And kudos to you for being creative, but that doesn't really fly in my book when it comes to when you look up. This is important for your pets, guys. If you're going to give your pet something, you do some research. Is that oil okay for your pet? I'm assuming these guys did that, but you want to make sure because, my daughter is, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but she's a veterinarian student, and man, she's always hammering on me about what I give the dogs. So, so you really got to, some things you think are just intuitive to give your animals, are not, and don't give it to them. It makes them sick or something. So, but this is like C60, Purple Power got into it. Greska's relabeled their existing product. Purple Power sort of did the same. You still have Live Pet out there. I do want to point out Live Pet actually came out with a new product for pets called their Thrive Whole Pet Formula, and it's not just olive oil. It's different. It's specific to animals. And then SES just rebranded their same product, and call it for pets. But I think one of the Telemos right here in Ireland, they came out with a C60 omega-3 salmon oil, which is smart because that's really good for dogs, right? So that's that sort of thing. Of course, the prices don't, it's all kapakai, and so it's there's no real rhyme or reason to the list in terms of top to bottom. But these are the pet products out there. So and I also want to encourage everybody, man, if you haven't given your pet some C60, especially if you have an older dog, give it C60. It's amazing. If you go on the YouTube channel for Live Pet, there is testimony after testimony of pet owners showing you video of their dogs before and after C60. And hey, dogs don't have an opinion. They're not biased. They're either not walking around and running around as old dogs, or they're running around and you see it. You see it in horses, you see it in cats. So that's like, to me, the proof is in the pudding when it comes to C60. And I know it works because I can see it happening in my dog. So yeah, pets with C60, good stuff. Hope you do it. Give it a try. Okay, now there's other C60 blends, and this is like all over the map. And so I just here's the price, and this is the stuff that they're selling. Everything from, they make a proprietary blend. This guy makes a special blend just for men, just for women. This guy makes a CBD, C60, which is outrageously expensive, as you can imagine, because CBD oil is expensive, C60 is expensive. Put it in a bottle together, you got double expensive, right? You've got, mega oils, you've got, all that. You just got this, or this guy's just avocado, coconut. They don't make olive oil. And then you've got different mixes. You've got, they mix C60, black seed oil, and MCT oil, and all that stuff. So you've got a lot of different mixes in here. Like here's one in sunflower oil, but it's different the way that it's approached. You got, it's the Greska's version. They don't even think in terms of like tablespoons and teaspoons. They're like 2/3 of a dropper. They're just saying they've got highly, it's a highly concentrated C60 product. Just 2/3 of a dropper. That's all you need. And their customers swear by it. So yeah. I mean, you got concentrated, etc. Lots of different concepts here in terms of other C60 blends that are products out there that don't appear. They don't appear up here because they're not in olive oil. This is the to me, this is the foundation of the industry, is people selling C60 in olive oil. Why? Because that's what they did in the Bati study, which is the famous rat study everybody calls out when you talk about C60. So these guys are deviated away from that, selling C60 in different kinds of oils and blends. Of course, I did the pets. Now, let's talk about C60 and capsules. That was another trend that was real interesting in 2018, 2019, where vendors started putting C60 in capsules. And the problem with that is you take I mean, it takes like 5 to 8 capsules just to get a tablespoon. That's a lot of gelatin. The stuff that So anyway, so I'm not a real fan of capsules, although except in the case of black seed oil, I make my own black seed oil capsules because it's awesome. If you have not made or tried C60 and black seed oil, I highly recommend it. I make my own, and I'll tell you, it really helps regulate your digestive system. You'll be amazed what happens, to your pipes. And the reason I encapsulate black seed oil because you don't want to put that in your mouth. And taste it. It's pretty nasty stuff. So, but you've got different players in there. You got the Layla C60. That's how I got turned on to, black seed oil. A friend of mine, Philip, sent me some bottles, and I tried it, and I was hooked. And of course, I make my own. So, thank you for that. That was really cool. I wouldn't have known otherwise to try it that way. But then you've got, these other different companies. Live Longer Labs kind of started the trend, and then also at the same time in their encapsulation. There's this trend that started in 2020 of C60 oils mixed in with different types of supplements, and then there's actually been patents been filed, and actually even if you can go on Google Scholar, you'll find studies on C60 fullerenes and curcumin, and the combination is exceptional. So there's some real interesting combinations here. So you can get encapsulated black seed oil with curcumin. Right, you can get just regular old encapsulated C60 olive oil, which is these two guys, and then this one here is like the Layla, and this is what they do is that they do encapsulated black seed oil with astaxanthin, which is another antioxidant, and so some of these combinations are pretty cool. I'm actually tinkering around, trying to make my own, C60, in C60 oil with N&M and resveratrol, just to kind of see I can make myself like a super anti-aging C60 oil. So the whole idea encapsulation and the concept of adding supplements, it's kind of like it hasn't really taken off much. It's just a few guys kind of tinkering around with that. But kudos to you guys for even going that direction with C60 in terms of adding supplements to it and additives. I think that's pretty cool. I think these guys are really cool too. I mean, it's fun to experiment. It's fun to tinker. You never know if the market will demand it, and if you can sell it and people want it. So, and especially if it's good for you. So keep going. You guys are doing great. Now on the topical front, as I said, I knew that it was going to pop out because I had tried some of these products. I did a video on it, and they're awesome. I mean, I really like C60 oil products because it's an antioxidant. I mean, it's more than that. It's called a radical oxygen species sponge. Right, which means if you put C60 on your skin, it's like rubbing antioxidants on top of your skin, and it's going to just wipe out the radical oxygen damage on the surface of your skin. And if you're taking it as oil or internally, you're going to get it from the inside out, topical outside in, and you get this kind of wonderful blend of. And I'll tell you, you should try it. If you got skin issues, give it a try. And so definitely, there's been twice as many people selling topicals now, and twice as many products out there for topicals. So it's really cool. There's this long list of, whether it's a C60 anti-aging eye cream now, you can get a moisturizing lotions, facial oils, body lotions, face cream. I mean, there's all these different choices now that we never had before, not even a year ago. So it's really, really cool. If you want to try a C60 topical product, here are the links to these vendors. These are the prices, the size, and what it is. And I got to tell you, it is really good. You'll be amazed. I mean, one of my favorites right now is, I've always really liked that C60 Labs, their coconut moisturizing lotion. Really, really, really like it. Right now, my favorite that I really like using a lot is the body lotion from Layla Labs. It smells awesome. And then this face cream, I got a sample of that, and then, of course, my daughter stole it. So, hey, that's really nice. Kid comes home from college and takes my stuff. But then I asked her about it, and she's like, it's really great. And I'm like, okay, we'll give it back. And I never saw it again. So, so it's obviously good if people are going to steal it from you. But that's Layla Labs. And, of course, you've got other vendors. And then, I just want to point out something, and I'm not trying to be critical to you guys, but if you just take your existing product and slap a new label on it and call it's topical, I'm not even going to put it on the list. It's your regular ingestion product. These guys, it's a specific blend of all sorts of really cool, good for your skin stuff, and C60. All right. It's not just, oh, here's our C60 in olive oil. We'll just slap a label on it and call it topical. No, that's not topical. It's just, I mean, you call it whatever you want. I don't want to be critical of, but it's not really a quote true topical like it's designed for skin, right? See what I'm saying? There you go. Okay, so now in the raw C60 world, the same vendors. Only one fell off; it just disappeared off the map. But here's your others right here. It looks like my numbering scheme's really messed up. So let me fix that while I'm here. So what's interesting about raw C60, okay, is that the prices really dropped. I mean, they dropped like $20-$30 per gram for the three, that the low three. With the lowest prices. The highest price guys, the prices stayed the same. They did not go up or down. So that was pretty interesting. Now, Red Lion did go up over 2020, but then you've got MTR dropped to as low as 109 now. Right now, if you go on their website for a 99.95, 1 gram C60, it's 109. That is the lowest in the market right now, as of now. This is February 2021. So that is the best price out there. Of course, you've got Solaris Chem. It's 149, and theirs went down from last year by like $20-$30. So, I was pretty amazed that the prices are coming down. I would have thought that it would level off. So, that's a really good thing for the industry. And this is only at the 1 gram mark. Everybody that makes C60, all these guys, they obviously buy it a lot cheaper because they buy in bulk. So, good news to any one of the DIY folks that are making it themselves. Your raw material prices are going down. Take advantage of that. And let me tell you why right here. Here's the analytics, okay? Now, this is something for the industry. As you know, I've been tracking it for 4 years now. When we first started out, or you, not me, I'm not part of your industry, sorry. When you first started out, I was measuring your average price in the U.S. of 1 ounce of C60 olive oil. Okay, and it was $12.74 back then, and here's that spike because of that massive shortage because SES decided to stop selling to consumers. Thank you. And so there was this. I mean, you got the biggest, seller of C60 in the country, and they decided to stop selling to the DIY guys, and they would only sell to their favorite customers and themselves because they wanted to divert it all to making their own product, which it's their right to do so, but it really just gave the industry a massive kick to the cojones from a price standpoint. But there's a massive spike in price, but then you can see where it's leveling down now. So it's dropped from $14.89 average 1 ounce C60 oil, $14.48, and now in 21, over the last 12 months, it's dropped to $13.83. That's a 4.5% decrease year over year in the price of C60 oil retail. So that's pretty cool. I mean, so what that really tells us is there's a real stabilization in the price, which means what? If you recall, Economics 101, that means there's a balance between supply and demand. And until there's another cliff high moment on Sarah Westall, right? I mean, could you imagine if somebody like, Dr. Oz or some Dr. Phil, whatever these guys are, I don't watch TV, and they go out and they talk about C60 to the the mass market, what would happen next? Right? There'd be another cliff high moment, right? And so, and that refers to this event that happened in 2017, which is what started this. And so, when that happens, you'll see another spike. But until then, there's a nice balance now where there's just enough demand to meet the supply and the prices are stable. So that's that part. That's the whole, industry pricing guide. Now, the thing that I want to point out to anybody who has not heard my pitch, and I have repeated this pitch, I don't know, couple hundred times in every video, it's the cost to make your own. What everything I've just said up to this point for the last 22 minutes is, hey, this is about buying it. But this is about making it yourself, because that is what my entire channel, the original series that I'm doing 3 different series now, but the first series was on C60. I'm still doing C60 videos. Ta-da, right, this video. But make it yourself, because it's such a valuable supplement. Make it yourself, okay? DIY. Because if you make it yourself, you're going to spend about $100 in stuff. I've got to admit, I just went to Amazon and repriced all this stuff. This is all you need to make your own, okay? You need 4 things, cost you $100. But you know what? The price of that stuff did go up 16% year over year. I'm a little surprised about that. But the cost of equipment has gone up a little bit. It's still not a deal breaker. You spend $100 on equipment. You buy the supplies, which is olive oil and C60. Now I got a 122.50 price in there because I buy through the wholesale discount at Layla Labs for our Telegram chat group. And I'm loyal to those guys because they're loyal to us, the group. So, but so I pay 122.50 for my grams. But overall, it's like 146.50 for the actual supplies. Okay, so you've got equipment and supplies. Your equipment costs are capital. You don't, you just depreciate that off, and then what your run rate is on your supplies, right? That's what you're going to burn. I go through a liter a month, and so this is what I'm spending. And it costs me right now, as of now, and it's gone up like 9% year over year because the costs have gone up, but I'm still saving $9.50. So here's the thing. My DIY price or cost to make C60 oil for myself and my pet, my 2 dogs, is $4.33 an ounce. Okay? It has gone up 9% year over year, which is weird because retail hasn't changed, but DIY has gone up. But what does that compare to retail? If the average price for retail to buy it online is $13.83 an ounce, and you can make it for $4.33 an ounce, and you can save $9.50 per ounce making it yourself, and it only takes these 4 things and a few weeks, you know what? You need to start making it yourself. Okay. All right, that's my Dave Ramsey speech. All right, I'm just gonna be, hey, it's beans and rice, save some money. Okay, so anyway, that's that. The last thing I want to point out is this little section here, which is, I'm a tinker, and you know what? These guys are tinkers. They're making new things that relate to fullerenes. They're new products that have been released on the market most recently. Not this one. This one's only for a comparison, but I want to point it out because it's really, really cool. You've got this Carbon 60 Evo has come out with a C60 product, the second one in the industry. There's only been one person selling C60 in olive oil, and now you've got another person out there. So it's the first time I've ever seen anyone else start selling C60 in oil, right? So that's pretty cool. I've done some videos. By the way, the link's in below for the videos of different ways to take C60, and then a video about these 3 guys specifically in terms of how cool, what they're doing and what their new C60 related product is, or fullerene related products. So check it out, the video description below. It's pretty short, like 20 minutes, but it's really cool to hear about what these 3 new guys are doing, these guys doing new things. I'm sorry, but you can inhale C60 now through C60 oil atomizer. You can take C70. There's carbon nano onions, fullerenols, and then there's this thing called the Bioptrin filter. You can take a quantum hyperlight through a C60. It's wicked cool. So, from a tinker standpoint. So I just want to say there's been some new products released. It's cool stuff. If you're into C60, hey, check out the links below. But other than that, that's it. Thanks for hanging out for 27 minutes. Sorry, it's a little longer than I expected it to be, but that's just like I'm just rambling. But thank you so much. I do appreciate your time. I hope all of this information was helpful for you, and that you're able to save some money somehow and listen to me make some DIY. Aloha, and have a great weekend, guys. Take it easy.